We might be on a few fantasy football teams together. You never.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Probably 1,000.
I respect the heck out of you and how you play the game, dog. So
likewise.
You know,
and the dance moves too. Big fan of those.
Oh no, I'm running out. I'm running out all this.
Never.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Ekeler's Edge. I'm Liz Loza, and this, of course, is Chargers running back, fantasy football superstar, and former whitewater rafting guide. Ooh, I want to hear more about that. Austin Ekeler.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to episode 2. Excited for today and the content we have for you.
Yeah, because we got a great show. We're going to talk about CMC, Najee Harris, some old faces in new places, and we can't wait to share our interview with tight end one. Yes, Kansas City Chiefs superstar Travis Kelce.
Yes, looking forward to it. I got a lot of insight on some of these topics, so let's get into it.
Austin, let's start in an area you know best, the backfield. Now, you've talked about this before. You missed some time last year because of a hamstring issue, so you obviously know what it's like to work your way back onto the field. CMC missed all but 3 games in 2020 due to multiple injuries. I mean, ankle, shoulder, thigh, but he was still, despite all that, the consensus #1 overall pick in fantasy. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, man, it just goes to show how special he really is as a player and what he's done in his first 3 years going into last year. It just seemed like he couldn't catch a break last year, you know? You get back from something and something new would come up. Shoulder, it was nothing serious where he needed surgery, so that's always a plus. I feel like that's a lot harder to come back from is when you have to actually, go under the knife. I'm looking forward to seeing him back there. I know we trained together for Pro Day and been keeping up with each other's careers ever since, and that dude's, one of the highest competitors that I've seen. Is just his mentality coming into the season.
Well, that's interesting that you train together because you're both similarly skilled and built players, great pass catchers out of the backfield, obviously. To that end, in the 3 games that he was on the field for in 2020, he averaged 25 touches per game. Does that sort of workload feel realistic in 2021 coming off of those injuries?
I would say for a normal back, like that workload just seems like a lot, but for C-Mac, I feel like he's earned that respect. He just is the offense over there. I just know his mindset. I remember listening to an interview, I think it was one of his coaches talking about how he didn't want to come off the field if he didn't have to. So as far as reasonable, it really depends because, you look at some of these running backs, like for me, I would say no. My body's not built for that. That's just my situation. And you would look at Derrick Henry, who's running the ball that many times a game, if not more. And I would say he's an anomaly. Like, that's just the way he can take it. He's shown that he can do that. And so it comes down to just that individual. C-Mac, I know he wants to be on the field every single play. So I guess it doesn't matter if it's reasonable. It's what he wants, I feel like whatever he wants, that's what they're going to give him out over there because he's earned the right to ask for that because of his production.
Let's stick with the running back position and go from a vet to a rookie who was the 11th running back selected in most Yahoo drafts, just after you, by the way, Austin. I'm talking about the Steelers' Najee Harris. Here's a fun fact. Harris is the first-round running back the Steelers have selected since Rashad Mendenhall back in 2008.
Well, it just means they've had some solid running backs there, right? Now they finally had a demand and decided to go get one. They must like this kid.
Fantasy managers obviously like Najee Harris too because of his ADP. Here is what Yahoo Sports fantasy expert Dalton Del Don is fearlessly forecasting for Harris week 1 at Buffalo.
Harris is an immediate 3-down back, making him a rarity in today's NFL. Fearless forecast. 100 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown.
Actually, I did a little research on this guy because I was just like, let's see how the rookie's doing and watch his preseason highlights. Physically, the man is ready to go. He's ready to play in the NFL, absolutely. The only thing, especially with rookies coming in, is just like the mental part. Does he have the mental game down? Does he have protections down? Because sometimes it can allow you to play a little bit slower if you're not ready. In preseason, it's a lot of base looks. And so now you're going to see, more exotic things, disguises a little bit more from the vets.
So, Austin, are you taking the over or the under on Dalton's forecast here?
I'm going to take the under on it. I'm going to say it takes him a game or two to get his feels and get in a rhythm. But I definitely think he's going to have a successful season, absolutely. Because, yeah, like I said, the physicality, watching him run, watching him move, catch the ball, yeah, he looks really smooth.
All right, Austin, there's a lot of player movement around the NFL over the offseason, and several big names are on new teams. We asked our Twitter followers which of these old faces in new places is more likely to exceed their per-game numbers from last season. We've got Matt Stafford, Julio Jones, and your new teammate, Jared Cook. So, what do you say?
It was a tough one. I was looking into this. I had to do a little bit of research when I saw this one. I was like, okay, let's see here. I would like to say Jared Cook because I'm biased, but I'm gonna say Matthew Stafford. You know, I think he's gonna have some receivers with Wood and Kupp over there that are gonna make him just a little bit more productive in the passing game, which is why I think they brought him into LA in the first place. So I'm gonna go with Matthew.
Well, you and our Twitter followers are in agreement because Matthew Stafford also led the charge on this poll. I think we're expecting like the McVay-Stafford combination, like maybe the volume won't be as much for Stafford because the defense is obviously running at a higher level in Los Angeles than it was in Detroit, but the efficiency and the playmakers around him just kind of elevate this whole thing. Is that your thinking process here?
Right. Well, I'm thinking of Julio Jones in his situation. You know, he's going into Tennessee. They got Derrick Henry over there who's demanding the ball now at this point, right, for as productive as he's getting. Over here with us as well, we have so many weapons where the ball's going to be spread around so much with Cook that it's like, shoot, he could hit those numbers, he could be a little better, but I feel like Matthew Stafford just had the most upside as far as that poll.
This week, we're going to do things a little different with your extra point segment, Austin. We caught up with a man who is widely considered the best tight end in football. It's obviously Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce, welcome to Ekeler's Edge. Thanks for joining us.
Of course. Appreciate you guys having me.
Austin, what is it like having Travis, like a little division rivalry going on?
Hey,
this is episode 2.
It's our first guest on Ekeler's Edge, so really looking forward to it. You know, it's a division rivalry. I feel like that's more for the fans, right? We're all competitors, regardless of what team we play on.
Right on. I appreciate you guys having me on. You know, we might be on a few fantasy football teams together. You never.
Yeah, for sure. Probably thousands
in some households. But you know what I mean? But we always have fun on the field, man. Yeah, I respect the heck out of you and how you play the game, dog. So
likewise.
You know,
and those dance moves too. Big fan of those.
Oh no, I'm running out all the time.
Never.
Well, don't run out because you're right. There are a lot of fantasy managers who have both of you on their teams. But Travis, are you into fantasy football at all?
I'm cool with it. It's another way for me to have a relationship with a certain fan just walking by. I mean, I'll be walking in the airport and I'll have somebody randomly tap me on the shoulder and say, "Hey man, thanks for what you did in week 15 of the last year for my fantasy team." And it's just like, hey man, however I can help or get you to jump on board of being, you know, all about me playing football or the Kansas City Chiefs playing football, I'm all for it.
I just loved how it's just like an indirect way that we connect with the community. You know, it's something that we don't even have to put time into, something we're already doing that is affecting people's lives, and you know they are really passionate about fantasy football too.
Well, Travis, you've inspired lots of fantasy managers to name their teams after you. So we went out and found a few Travis Kelce related fantasy football team names, and we wanted your opinion on which one you thought was best.
Alrighty, let's hear it.
So, all right, so we've got Kells Bells.
I like it. That's nice. I got thumbs up for that one. That one's sweet.
Okay, how about all the Kells and Whistles?
It's a solid one. It's creative. It's not terrible. You know what I mean?
As far as the eye, Kelce.
There you go. That's pretty.
Great.
These are all very solid.
All right, two more. Oh, say can you, Kelce? For you literary buffs out there.
There you go. Hold it down, you know?
Last one. What a Travis T.
Wow.
So, I don't know. That one sounds a little negative.
Oh, okay.
Very good, though. Very good. And there's a few other guys named Travis in the league. So, I would just say that probably Kells is the one to go.
Kells Bells.
Kells Bells is the definitive winner.
That was my favorite, too.
Never a dull moment with number 87.
Yeah, big shout out to Travis coming on. Looking forward to playing him twice a year, trying to take that throne from him. So thanks, Travis. Appreciate you, man.
Oh, I love the heat. And that is going to do it for us this week.